fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. I'm here today to do a clip on what I consider to be the top 5 accessories that you can own for your Phantom 4. And these are accessories that I actually use myself. I've picked these up over the last couple of months one by one, tested them out, and I fly with them pretty much every time I go out today. Some of these accessories will help you charge your batteries, some of them will help you protect your batteries, and others just make it a little bit easier to drone and eliminate some of the hassle when you're out there droning. So the first one I want to talk about is a car charger for your Phantom 4 batteries. Now I did a clip a couple of months back that listed 10 top accessories that you can use for droning. On there I had a car charger for a Phantom 3. The new car charger for the Phantom 4 just came out a little while ago, and it's a little bit different than the Phantom 3 in that the Phantom 3 charger only charges the battery. The Phantom 4 charger actually charges one battery and your controller from the same outlet in your car. So it's a little bit of an upgrade over what the Phantom 3 did. I use it every time I go out droning, and like I mentioned in the last video, I usually carry 2 or 3 batteries with me, so it's nice to have a car charger that when I'm up flying I can have one of the batteries that I've used already in the car charging. If I'm traveling between locations a lot of times, I'll take that car charger with me, and that way I can charge up those batteries between locations. So I've always got a fresh battery ready to go. Very simple device, very inexpensive device, easy to use. It's kind of a no-brainer. It allows you to, again, keep fresh batteries with you whenever you're out droning. So that's the first accessory. The second one is a related accessory, and it's a charger for your home. Now I know when you bought the Phantom 4, you got a really nice charger for it, and it had a port on there that could charge your battery and could charge your controller at the same time. But if you're like me and you've added a second or a third battery to your collection, you've got to play that game of jockeying batteries around to make sure they're charged and, you know, switching them out at the right time. It's not that it's that big a deal, but it's a little inconvenient. You have to keep going back to the shelf or the desk that you've got them on and change them out. So the second accessory is a brand new charger that came out. That's a 4-port charger, which means it can charge the controller and up to 3 batteries simultaneously, all with enough current to charge them in about an hour and a half. So it's a really handy device if you've got spare batteries around that you want to charge. Typically what I'll do is when I come back from a day of droning, I can connect up 3 batteries on the charger as well as the controller, let it sit there, and they all top off, and I'm ready to go the next day or even later that afternoon if I want to. It's not that expensive a device, surprisingly. I think the original charger, if you had to replace it, would be about an $80 investment. This charger, the 4-port charger, is less than 60 bucks. So if you need a second charger or you want to get a charger you can charge more than one battery at a time in addition to the controller, this would be a great accessory to pick up and use it at your house. The third thing I'll talk about is kind of an interesting device, and I wasn't actually aware of this when I first started flying, but the batteries that are in the drone, the Lipo batteries that we use in the drones, come with a bunch of warnings that talk about the danger of fire and explosion. These batteries are very stable batteries, but occasionally when these batteries have issues, they can overheat and they can cause real problems for you if you happen to be charging a battery in a room where you're not paying attention to it. So the third accessory I've picked up is what I'll call a Lipo Safety Bag, and what it is a fire retardant bag that you can slide your battery into and then close the Velcro clasp on it and actually keep that battery inside the bag while it's charging. That's a really handy thing to do, and that way, heaven forbid you have any problems with the battery while it's charging and it does get overheated or heaven forbids it bursts into flames, it's inside that bag. So it's a good chance that it's going to minimize the fire that gets out of the bag. And hopefully if it's warm, you know, it won't melt anything. It won't melt a desk or ruin something that you've got it on while you're charging. Now I don't want to scare you. It's not like this has ever happened to me. I actually have a lot of friends that drone. I don't know anybody that it's happened to with them. But I'm one of those guys that I just don't like to take chances. And these bags are cheap enough. They're less than 10 bucks a pop. So I have one for each of my batteries. What I like about it as well is even when I'm not charging my batteries, I can keep those batteries inside this Lipo bag and be assured that if I'm traveling on a plane or in the back of my car that, you know, if something bumps up against them and nicks them or something, they're inside the bag, so that extra protection from the bag will really keep them safe. And they're really easy to use, and again, it's inexpensive, so it's something I've picked up and it works pretty well. Another related item that I use recently, I just found out about this a couple of weeks ago, is on the Phantom 4 batteries on the bottom. The connections are exposed, so it's not a big deal if you're putting them back into your carrier and you've got a carrier that sort of holds them inside the foam. The danger is that if those connections come in contact with some type of metal, you could have an explosion, because if they short out, there's a lot of current inside those batteries. So the fourth accessory that I've picked up are what I call battery guards, and really all they are is a small piece of plastic that's crafted to be exactly the right size to snap into the end of the battery. So when you're not using the batteries and they're in your case, you snap on these battery guards and slide them in your case, and all those connections are completely protected. Even if you're not worried about the danger of explosion or fire from shorted connections, those open connections on the bottom, if you stand the battery up on a table or you stand it up, you know, somewhere else, you could get debris up inside there. So you could get dust and fuzz and things up inside there. Then when you slam that into your drone, all that junk gets inside the drone and causes issues with connections and stuff. So for me, I like them because they guarantee that those batteries aren't going to have any kind of debris in the end of them, so they're protected. It also eliminates the chance of explosion or fire from a short. That's really important if you're traveling on a plane, because one of the restrictions the FAA has when you're traveling on a plane is you have to do all you can to prevent those batteries from coming in contact with shorts. On the Phantom 3s, what I used to do is actually take a piece of electrical tape and tape it across the connections, then individually take those and put them in a Ziploc bag and carry them separately, so there was no chance they could ever connect. Now with the Phantom 4, I just snap the battery guard on the end, slide it in the Lipo bag case, and then take that with me. So it really guarantees that I've got that extra measure of safety when I'm traveling with those particular batteries. And again, I'm not saying that this is a very common occurrence where these things burst into flames or explode, but I think these accessories are inexpensive enough for me that it's not even a question. And they're made specifically for the Phantom 4. Now that Lipo battery bag, that safety bag, will work on any Lipo battery you've got. So if you've got an older Phantom or a Phantom 3 or a Bebop or a 3DR or somebody else, a Unique, you can slide the batteries in there as well. And again, I know it may sound like overkill to have these things, but for me it's that extra measure of safety that I really rest assured I'm not going to have issues with the drone. The last thing I'll talk about is more of a convenience, but it's a really nice accessory to have, and that is a shorter custom data cable which goes between the controller and whatever you're using, a phone or a tablet up top. You can certainly use the standard 3-meter cable, or 1-meter cable I should say, that comes with the phone or the tablet, but then you've got an issue with all that cable dangling below. And if you start wrapping it around the back of the controller, anytime you wrap it tight like that, you stand a chance of wearing it out and breaking the wires internally. So by having a shorter cable, the one I use is a 12-inch cable, and it's got braided exterior on it, so it's a very heavy-duty cable. It just makes the whole thing a little bit neater because it's exactly the right length to make it from the USB connection on the back of the controller up to what I'm using today as a tablet, a smaller tablet, but the phone will fit the same. For me, that was a really nice upgrade, and again, a very inexpensive upgrade, less than 10 bucks for it. I carry a couple with me in my case because I'm always losing stuff, so having an extra one around really makes sure that when I get out there for the day of droning, I open up my case and I've got a connector cable for the data in there. So those are the 5 that I wanted to talk about today. And again, these aren't sort of exotic features that you may want to get or not want to get, or accessories. They're really things that I use every time I drone. And if you're out there with a Phantom 4, I'm sure you're like me, looking for whatever the next thing is for the Phantom 4 to enhance that experience. And I really feel like these 5 particular accessories really make it a lot safer and easier to fly with the Phantom. Just gives me peace of mind as well that I know I'm taking care of my really expensive equipment and that it'll be ready the next time I want to go out droning. So hopefully you find this useful. I'm going to put some links below where you can get these. We sell them on our website, the Drone Valley website, but you can get them from anywhere. Amazon's got them, eBay's got them. You can get them probably from all the major drone sites out there. So if you want to buy them from us, that's great. If you want to buy them from somebody else, that's cool too. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about them. And if you have any questions or you have any comments, if you think this was useful, leave me some comments below. If you don't agree with it, let me know about that as well. And we'll continue to do these as long as you guys keep watching. So thanks a lot for subscribing and for joining us today. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks again.